welcome to this class. So we're going to paint these macarons, and I chose these because they're pink, and I also sketched them much larger because it's much easier to tackle an area, like to apply colors wet on wet. And I'm going to show you my test piece. So this is my test piece in my journal, and it's all about light and shadows. I'm going to tell you this right away. And this is what my color palette looks like. So I have quinacridone red with cobalt blue right next to it, slightly blended, imidazoline yellow, bright rose. If you don't have bright rose, it's okay if you just use even quinacridone red. Think of all the lightest areas that you can see. That's where you don't really want to directly add the pinks, all the reds. So for now, it's just water. So take your time, maybe spend like 3 minutes wetting it. I grabbed a little water with my brush. This is my imidazoline yellow. I do want to tone it down a bit, so I'm going to grab a little bit of this yellow ochre, and then I can grab some of that bright rose. Now this is not heavy cream. This is not even cream top or half and half. This is more like water-like ratio. That's because I have a quill brush too. But why is that anyway? Because I do want the paint to be like this, spread. Because this is like my undertone, quin red. So there's my quin red. This is more like a half and half, or between half and heavy cream. And I'm going to grab this bright rose and then some of the yellow. I still want yellow because I want to have like a softer transition between colors. So there you go. And this feels like I just need a little more of that yellow, more yellow to make it so I don't go right away to those pinks, but I have this transition between colors. So this is thicker. You can tell it's thicker because the paint is just not spreading as much. And I'm aiming towards like the darkest areas. And then this is the other area here. I do need that line. Now, this is the time also when I want to add a little bit of cobalt blue. So there's my cobalt blue. Now, might be a little too much. There you go. It's more like it. So I'm grabbing now this. I'm trying to grab more like this heavy cream of the two colors. There's a little bit of yellow there too. And now I have the cobalt blue. So cobalt blue towards the areas wherever I feel cobalt blue. And then this is like the kind of bluish areas right here actually. This is all a little darker. And then this edge right here. And then I'm staying away from this. Now this is like too much of a contrast right now, but I didn't get to the part yet where I'm going to add or clean my brush, wipe it on towel. For now, this is just a little more of the cobalt blue. We don't need to go too dark yet because we are going to add that second layer. It's just to have the blue in there, just a little bit of it. This is a damp brush, and you can just pull a little bit of the color. If it feels like you lost some highlight, and I feel like I lost maybe a little bit of that here. And then there's the edges too. So we can go through those edges. So for now, I'm just going to wet it. This is my long quill, size 2. So I'm just wetting it. Make sure that this part dry though, because you don't want to create any blooms. Because if that water went here and this was still wet, that means I would create a bloom right there. So you don't want that if you want to keep things smooth like this. In this case, because I already have this first layer, I want to grab like a round 8 golden 2, my other softer brush, just because I want to have more control. And then this is yellow, both yellows, and there's my, oops, I grabbed a little too much of the yellow, and there's my bright rose, and I want some of the quin red. I'm not trying to mix these again too much on the palette. I want all the mixing to happen on the paper. I need more of the bright rose, so I just grab more bright rose. And so I have these colors. You want to see always separation of colors because that's what makes something look more natural. But I need more water with that paint. So it just depends how much control you want to have. That's how you decide like how thick you want the paint to be. If you want the paint to spread, then go with like milk-like ratio or even water-like ratio. But if you start, like you really want to start having way more control, that's when you go for this heavy cream or cream top-like ratio. So this is more like a heavy cream that I have now on my brush, And I'm just applying colors towards the darkest areas. Now, it kind of looks funny in a way, right? Because we still need to kind of let the paint to spread a little bit. So what I have is this round brush size 2. So I need to grab cream top-like ratio between water and paint of the both reds plus a little bit of blue. And then you drop it, but it has to be cream top-like ratio between water and paint. Let me show this to you. So this is drier paint. I'm trying to find this dry paint, but I need some of the bright rose. You can even grab a little bit of red if you want to. It's just that it needs to be like drier paint, so the paint doesn't spread. I don't have enough, so I need to grab like basically like a chunk almost on my brush. And if it's too dry, you actually need to add a little bit of water, because if nothing is coming off the brush, then it's too dry. And you just want to drop like just small dots, because we would have that texture. Like when you see that macaron in real life, like even if you don't see it on the photo, you'll see like there's that texture, nice texture to it. So here's my test piece, and this is how I went about the filling that's coming on the outside, right? So we're gonna do something similar. What I did was I wetted each little piece, and then I added colors wet on wet. So same thing, basically. So I'm gonna start, let's see, from the left side, I guess, because I'm right-handed, so I would be going this way technically. So only on the outside, try not to go over the macaron like I just did, just on the outside. The same 2 colors, so yellow, imidazolone yellow, and some of the bright rose. And for now, this will spread. This feels more like the, let's say, between milk and half like ratio. You can do this actually wet on dry as well. And then with that same brush, you don't have to clean it. We can grab now like some of the yellow, and then maybe quinacridone red, and then a little bit of, let's say, burnt sienna too. We could do that. So I'm just grabbing the paint, I have it on my brush, and I'm just going to apply it only towards a couple of the areas, not everywhere, what I'm trying to say. So you don't want to apply this everywhere. So there's our macarons. Those are our macarons from this class. And then again, I'm going to show you the ones that I painted earlier, which was my test piece. So these are a little darker. Definitely the ones in this class are more pinkish. And these are like, there's a little more of the cobalt blue, I'd say. That's why they are not as pinkish like these ones. So I'm going to share both photos from this class. So the photos of my first test piece, and then the photos of this one from this class. And if you want to add shadows, I suggest to use cobalt blue or blue you've used already, red that you've used already, maybe the bright rose if you've used that too, and then some of the yellow, imidazolone yellow. And if whatever the shadow feels, let's say, more yellowish, then just add more yellow to it, and so on. So when you take a look at the color wheel, you will locate where's that pink. So the pink will be like between red and purple. And then what's on the opposite side of that pink, right? So that would be the lime green like color. So technically you would want to use that to add to the colors that you've used for the macarons to create like a natural shadow. Now, how is green color created? Is by a mix of yellow and blue. That's why I was saying you can just use yellow, blue, and then the colors that you've used for the macarons, which are the pinks. So that would be it. So thank you so much for your time, and please let me know if you have any questions.